Mike Tyson's name still echoes like thunder whenever the conversation turns to boxing greatness. He wasn't just a fighter. He was a force of nature, a hurricane wrapped in gloves who could end a bout before most fans had even settled into their seats. Tyson's highlight reels are filled with first-round knockouts, his opponents crashing to the canvas in disbelief, audiences roaring as if they had witnessed a myth come alive. But Tyson's story isn't only about the nights when he steamrolled his opponents. It's about the battles where he was pushed to the brink, where defeat looked inevitable, but where sheer will and raw power allowed him to claw his way back. These were the fights that proved Tyson was not just a knockout machine, but a warrior who could endure fire and still rise. The first real crack in Tyson's aura of invincibility came in 1990 against Buster Douglas, a night that shocked the world. At the peak of his career, Tyson entered the Tokyo Dome as the undisputed king, expected to finish Douglas in minutes. Instead, Douglas fought with unmatched determination, using his jab to keep Tyson at bay and landing counters that stunned the champion. The image of Douglas landing that uppercut, followed by a combination that sent Tyson sprawling to the canvas, remains one of boxing's most iconic moments. For the first time, Iron Mike looked human, but Tyson's career was far from finished. That loss only fueled the hunger for redemption, and soon new challenges emerged, fighters who thought they could topple the giant who once seemed unbeatable. Enter Donovan Razor Ruddock, a man built like a tank with fists that could demolish walls. Ruddock was confident, brash, and convinced he was the one who could bury Tyson's era once and for all. From the opening bell of their 1991 clash, it was chaos. Tyson and Ruddock tore into each other like predators, trading bombs that echoed around the arena. Tyson's head movement and counterpunching were on full display early, slipping shots and punishing Ruddock with precision. By the third round, Tyson had floored him with a brutal left hook, the kind of punch that silenced entire crowds. But Ruddock wasn't going quietly. He rose, dusted himself off, and came storming back, hammering Tyson with his signature smash uppercut. For a terrifying stretch, it looked like Tyson was about to fall. Fans gasped, commentators screamed, and Ruddock smelled blood. Yet, in the seventh round, when most thought Tyson was on the edge of defeat, Iron Mike unleashed a merciless barrage that left the referee no choice but to wave it off. Tyson roared in victory, proving to the world that the throne was still his. Years later, in 1999, Tyson faced Francois Botha in a fight that began with more fireworks outside the ring than in it. Botha, confident and dismissive, taunted Tyson in the pre-fight buildup, and Tyson's temper, always a weapon and a weakness, flared. From the opening bell, Botha used unorthodox tactics, clinching and leaning to smother Tyson's attacks. Tyson grew visibly frustrated, even attempting to twist Botha's arm in the clinch, drawing gasps from fans. For a moment, it looked like Botha's antics were working. He landed shots, danced around Tyson, and made the great champion look ordinary. But Tyson's team managed to calm him, and in the fifth round, the storm broke. One right hand, perfectly timed, detonated on Botha's jaw. The South African crumpled, staggering to rise but unable to beat the count. Tyson stood tall once again, his fury now channeled into the kind of punch that defined his legacy. Go back to 1987, and you find Tyson in another war for survival against Tony Tucker. This was no ordinary challenger. Tucker was undefeated, a towering figure with both size and skill. Their clash for the undisputed heavyweight title was billed as Tyson's ultimate test. From the first round, Tucker shocked the world by standing his ground, using his reach to sting Tyson and even mocking him mid-fight, dancing and taunting like a man who thought he had solved the puzzle. For a split second, it seemed the giant might actually derail Tyson's march to glory. But Tyson, enraged by the disrespect, adjusted. He ripped to the body, shortened his hooks, and by the later rounds had Tucker backing up, his confidence shattered. After 12 grueling rounds, Tyson had his hand raised, silencing the doubters and unifying the belts. The message was clear. Size and bravado meant nothing against a man who fought like a lion trapped in a cage. Then came Frank Bruno, the British powerhouse built like a comic book hero. With muscles carved from granite and a booming voice, Bruno promised not just to beat Tyson, but to knock him out spectacularly. Their 1989 showdown began with Tyson launching forward like a missile, dropping Bruno in the opening round with a thunderous right hand. But Bruno didn't fold. He rose, fought back, and even shook Tyson with a left hook that had fans holding their breath. For a brief, electrifying moment, the unthinkable loomed. Tyson wobbled, vulnerable, and Bruno pressed forward. But Tyson's recovery was as fast as his punches. Once he steadied himself, He unleashed a savage combination that left Bruno helpless on the ropes. The referee stepped in, saving Bruno from further punishment as Tyson once again asserted his dominance. And then there was Mitch Green, the loudmouth New Yorker who believed his street toughness could match Tyson's ring ferocity. Green taunted Tyson relentlessly before their 1986 fight, vowing to crush him. When the bell rang, Tyson responded not with words but with fists. Round after round, he battered Green with hooks and uppercuts, turning the fight into a one-sided beating. To Green's credit, he refused to fall, absorbing punishment and even landing counters that briefly stalled Tyson's momentum. But Tyson's power was relentless. By the end of 12 rounds, Green's face told the story, swollen, bloodied, and beaten. Tyson won by decision, handing Green a painful reminder that talking and fighting were two very different things. What makes these fights legendary isn't just Tyson's victories, but the fact that in each one he was forced to dig deep. Against Ruddock's bombs, Botha's antics, Tucker's size, Bruno's power, and Green's stubbornness, Tyson was pushed to the edge. Fans saw glimpses of vulnerability, moments where the myth seemed ready to crack. Yet time and again he reminded the world why he was feared. His ability to recover, adapt, and deliver when the pressure was highest is what cemented him as more than just a knockout artist. He was a gladiator, one who thrived in the chaos of combat. Mike Tyson's legacy is often measured in knockouts. In the seconds it took for him to dismantle men who trained their entire lives for a chance against him. But the true measure lies in nights like these, when he was tested, when defeat whispered in his ear, and when he responded with fire. That's what made Iron Mike unforgettable. Not just the wins, but the wars. Not just the power, but the heart behind it.